Okay, so hang on, I'm gonna just turn this down. We are recording now. Okay, let's head over and go back to the landscape. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create a new one. Like I've lost all the info because the computer crashed before. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. It is what it is. So yeah. Um, in any case, I'm just gonna go over and I'm gonna bypass creating the material again just for the sake of us. If you want, well, nah, whatever. Just I'll just yeah. I'll just create a new one. It's gonna be fairly. It should be fairly easy. I'm just gonna go ahead and yeah, like don't be that lazy, Edu. Don't be that lazy. So just gonna go ahead here. I'm just gonna create these, and then I'm gonna create some gravel. What was it? Gravel, ground. Gravel. What was it? Gravel. Um. Okay, I lost the gravel. That's not good. Um. Well, I guess I'll go with just the sandstone. The sandstone will work. Great. So let me go over here one sec real quick. I'm just gonna set this up here. This goes here. This goes in here. Like that. I'm just gonna set a basic value of roughness. 0.6 should do. All right, and yeah. This goes in here. This goes in there. Like that. There we go. And there we go. Now, landscape layer blend. This should be it. 1, 2. Rock, and the other one is gonna be grass. Great. Control C, Control V. Set Control C, Control V. There you go. And now, plug this in. Plug this here. This goes here. There we go. And this one goes in here while the other one goes there. That's it. And I do have my landscape material. So, hang on one sec. I'm just gonna drop it in here. Go to paint. Just create a weight blender layer normal. There you go. And these one as well. There you go. Right. So let's just increase these. Just gonna try some noise to create some noise here. Like that. Yeah. Okay, that's great. And let's do some noise. Yeah, like that. That'll do. Great, we got some beautiful landscape right now. With no tiling at all. Like you cannot see the repetition, of course. Jokes. I'm sorry. So, the thing is now, let's go to foliage, right? Shall we? So how can you work with foliage? So what I did is basically you can actually do the same. You can go to the Epic Store if it doesn't crash your computer, of course. You can go to Marché or Marketplace. Okay. It's better if you use the English version. So you can go to the Marketplace and then you either go to Megascans and just browse for some like Megascan trees or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. Like whatever will do. You also got some free content if you go here and type in foliage and you just browse if you sort by low to high price, then you have these Project Nature. It's like the creators are called Project Nature, and they do have some really good looking plants. Okay, so they do look pretty pretty well. Some good looking AAA plants. Okay, so yeah, definitely go and browse for these because they'll be very handy. And I mean, like, yeah, that's what you want to get. Okay, so well, whatever. Easy as add these to your cart for free, and then you go to Bibliothèque and you browse for that, like for the folder, and just ajouter au projet. Okay, add to project. And then you'll have it as me. You'll see that Unreal Engine automatically creates a new folder inside of your project. Okay, so it's as simple as going here, and what you want to look for is these folder, like the meshes one. Okay, these one here. So once you're here, you will need some time to compile the like Unreal Engine will need some time to compile the meshes with the textures and shit. Well, you'll see. But yeah, you can check the you can check the material and the meshes themselves. Well, you already know. You can imagine. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna go again to modes, and here you want to go to foliage, or you can press the shortcut, which is Shift 3. Okay. Now I do not have anything here. It says drop foliage here, so the only thing that I need to do actually is that just drag and drop my geometries here. In my case, I'm gonna actually take 4 of them and just drag them in. It'll take some time if you do this like that, because it needs to compile the meshes. 1 sec real quick. But just hang on there. There you go. Now I can just drop them in there, and that's what I'm gonna do. Now, you can see that I got a brush active now, right? And you can see that I got some icons here. If I zoom in, I actually have a ticker, which means that they are activated. But I can actually choose with how many different meshes I want to paint with. So I can actually select these one, and boom, there you go. There you have your foliage. Okay, there you have your trees. Simple as that. Okay, you can start painting them over. So click you paint. You can actually, okay, you can populate and paint, and with Shift pressed, you can delete them. You can erase the foliage. Simple as that. Okay, so being that said, there are too many here, right? Like this is way too overkill. So I'm gonna configure a little bit these 3. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go here to the options of the tree, and you'll see that it says density, and it says 100. Right, so by area, when I paint it, like what Unreal will do is try to put in place 100 instances of that tree. Like we do not want that, right? So I'm just gonna go with 1. Okay, we're better off now. So yeah. Now let's say that this is not enough. Maybe let's say that I want a couple one of them in one area. Even with that. Okay, there you go. And the next parameter that I have here is the radius. So let's say that I will have 50, for example, and I do like that. Wait, there, okay? Like so. If I increase the radius, you'll see that now it's not allowing me to paint anything, right? Whatsoever. Why is that so? Because, let me put 150 by hand. Okay, so if you see it's 50, tries to put 50, then stops. Do you see this kind of space here? It's like preserving the space, because he understands that he can put up to 50 instances with a minimum distance between them. So you can actually, if you keep increasing this value, Like that's actually it would be like the spread of the trees, how spread they are. Yeah, there's a way. So I'm just gonna delete them again. And now, yes, because until I do not update the you see, like when you move the camera, it updates the shadows. So now I can actually also change the scaling mode. It's actually uniform, so you can tell them to have a minimum difference. So the minimum would be 0.8 the scale, and the maximum will be 1.2 the original scale. So that way you can have different sizes on the trees, right? That way it will allow you to better randomize those trees, right? So yeah, it's another parameter to randomize. Um, these different scaling, it can be uniform, free, log XY, whatever. Like, I mean, you can change it up to your own pleasure, so no problem with that. And apart from these, you have some vertex color mask. I mean, this is going to be more complex. This is basically that it'll try to change the color a little bit to create variations on the color, depending on where they placed. Okay. Now placement. So you got the Z offset. The Z offset, what these does is you can see that the trees have a root, right? So let's say that they are kind of floating in the air. So if I start cranking this up, the value up. Let me just go a little bit more. Way more. Let's go like that. Let's check that out. Okay, you can see now, actually, if I go zoom in, you can see that this tree is floating. If I still keep these, you can see that now they're placed in the middle of air. Okay, that we wouldn't want that. Okay, we do not want that. Unless no, you don't want that, trust me. But like, why do I have these parameters? So I do have this parameter because maybe I want some trees to be taller, some trees to be higher, and not only that, but I want them to start in a different place in the ground. Maybe one tree is more synced in the ground than the other, or I didn't do my trees properly. I didn't set the pivot properly, and the pivot is way far away. It's too far away from what it should be like the point of contact with the ground. And what I can do with these is to just reduce and subtract. That way the tree will be synced in and I won't have any kind of problem whatsoever. Like, I won't have any kind of problem with the roots, right? Like, I want to be able to see the start of the tree and have any kind of problem with the that I'm like seeing it through. Because if you take a look to these, hang on, let me set this to 1. So if I take a look very close, you can actually see that the tree is not actually touching the ground, right? So that's no good. In this case, what I could do is this. I could decrease the Z offset and that in negative value. That way the tree would be synced in like that. So if I now go here, you can see the tree synced in, and if I go through, you can see that the tree is actually trespassing the landscape, right? All right. That way you can solve the floating trees issue. Now, yeah. Now you can also, I told you that you can also change the orientation of the trees, and yeah, you can actually do that. How do you do that? Well, the next parameters that you have here, there you go. These are the align to normal and the align max angle, right? So this is selected by default. I'm just gonna delete it. Just gonna take it out, and if you see now, when I paint trees, they're just looking upwards, right? So let me just delete these ones here. There you go. Thank you. You see, it doesn't matter whatever I paint the trees, they're going to be looking upwards, right? So align to normal, what we'll do is it will align the trees to the normal of the face that they're painted in. Okay. So if I align to normal, then I can actually set a maximum. So let's say that, for example, if I align the normal of the tree like these, okay, this is probably not real, right? Because the tree would fall off the ground, right? But I can say, okay, now I want the maximum alignment normal, like the maximum angle, to be 20. So if I delete these and paint them again, you can see that they're bending a little bit, but not that much. Just a little bit. So they do align with the normal, but with a maximum. They got a limit. Okay? So that would be the optimal thing to do. Like maybe 10, between 10 and 20 would be the acceptable value for this. Random yaw, of course, the yaw is the rotation that they have in the y-axis. So, you already know that. And random pitch angle, you can create all sort of crazy shit like that. Why would you want these? So let's imagine that one of the assets that you have, they're not trees, they're dead trees. So you can place them all over. So you can have the trees like that in vertical, and some of them keep staying vertical, but some of them you can lay them in the ground as if they were fallen trees, right? So that's also another chance that you can create these kind of facets, right? So you can actually create some variety with these. Yeah. Wait. Can you? Okay. There you go. And that's pretty much it. Like the height and stuff. Well, like you can. This is what altitude you can paint the trees in. At which altitude you can paint the trees in. That's it. And that's basically all that you can do. You got some options, some optimization options. You got the cold distance. You got the cast shadow or not. Like you can make them cast shadow or not if you want to. As I told you before, you can see here that Unreal actually occludes the shadows. Like you can see now that they're kind of blur. But when I start getting closer, boom, now they get some more definition. Another level of definition, right? So, yeah, you have some quality changes depending on how far you're from them. And of course, if you get way too far away from them... Jesus, hang on one sec. Just so slow. There you go. Eventually, they become planes. They just become bare planes. You see? That's a classic from video games. So this here is a classic from video games, turning the meshes into billboards, into just a plane with a texture. That's how you optimize everything in when you have like these kind of huge environments where you can see like the mountains with the trees in Uncharted, like this wow AAA graphics, and it's like, yeah, but this is not AAA at all. Like this is all a lie. This is lying. This is bullshit. They're just lying to you. Yeah, but this is basically how it's done. Otherwise, it would be impossible to have like these kind of like extremely big scenarios, right? So yeah, so when you get closer to them, they become meshes, like low quality meshes. Actually, if you take a look to the texture here, at this area, did you see the jump on the texture on this one? You get a little bit more detail on the texture if I keep getting closer. Another jump on quality until I finally have the full quality. But yeah, so that's the idea. Okay. All right. So You can set them to have no collisions, which is by default, but you can tell them to have collisions, so block all. Okay, just so you know that if you want to generate some playable demo or something like that, some sort, like you can do that, right? That's pretty much it. What you can actually do now is to save the preset here. Like, okay, I want to save this kind of foliage preset that I just set up. And the cool thing now is that you can actually come to the other instances and start tweaking things. So if you see, the parameters between these one and these one are different. So I can come to this one, say, well, I'm just going to use these. Say it's 3, and here I'm going to say 5. And the radius is going to be 15, for example. And here it's going to be 3, and the radius is going to be 5. So you can actually activate both of these and start painting both types of meshes at the same time. So you have 19 of these and 53 of these. So 5. So you can see a combination of these 3 and the other one with more leaves. That way you can combine meshes. Yeah, for each one. You can separate the parameters for each one. So you actually see that this one has 5 and 5, and this one has 5, 15. Doesn't matter. So you can customize each of the presets. Now, let me take a look because I might have some plants. No. Let me import some plants into here. This is the one that I want. Yep. Okay, so if I go to content, I just downloaded some plants here, and I'm just gonna apply them. So yeah, let's take these, and these here, whatever, and I'm just gonna drag and drop them here. So I do have them placed, and the only thing that I need to do now is actually crank this down a little bit to maybe 25, like that. So it's as simple as it follows. I do choose my foliage and then just increase the size. Ah, shit, wait, hang on. There you go. Now you start having foliage. So if you increase the density for this, let's say 100, easy peasy. Okay. And of course, it does move. All right. Be careful though, because if I do activate the FPS of my project, I do have, instead of 120 FPS, I do have 65, 66. Yeah, right. And if I keep painting over and over, these will start getting worse. So now I've decreased from 66, 65 to maybe 30, 40, right? So yeah, it does consume power a lot. Okay, have that in mind. This is like needless to say that this is more than enough, like more than enough. Okay, but yeah, like it's pretty fun to work with. It's kind of a toy. Like you can do like pretty good looking stuff, and yeah. So this is pretty much it, right? Hang on, I'm gonna try to activate just for my own pleasure. Wait, where were you? Yeah. RTX. Just gonna activate ray tracing. Just gonna restart the game, like the engine. Gonna try to work with RTX. It's taking its time to compile. Come on. Mm-mm. Well, that's pretty much it. Oh, by the way, spoiler. Let's say that you have a desert scene. There are no trees usually in a desert, but there are rocks, there are pebbles, gravel, right? I never said that the foliage tool could only use foliage. It uses meshes. So instead of grass, you can actually give it the asset of a stone and then change the pitch of the stone, the size of the stone, and just paint over thousands and thousands of little rocks and little stones to give a little bit more texture to your scene and create more realism, something more high end. Be careful though, because that'll drop the performance like a lot. So just beware. No, what? No, you're not able to paint water because water itself is not a mesh. Well, it is a mesh, but it's not thought to be used like that. What you can do is actually, if you had some of your friends, some of the people there, because I've seen you, they have started to use the water plugin by themselves. So right now I'm just waiting for the project to open, which we will see if it opens or not. Um, but you actually have a plugin, a water plugin inside of Unreal. So yeah, if I could open the project, then I could show you. But the thing is that I don't know. I'm not sure if it does work in the 26 version. Which version do you have for the water plugin? Because it's made for the 427 version, so I might not be able to show it to you. But well, I'll try. We'll see. Is it gonna work or not? No, it got stuck. Oh no. Oh no. I mean, it's clearly compiling something. I'm just gonna go and open another Unreal. Um, instance. Let's go ahead and create a new one. Yeah. I will leave these one loading. It should be fine. Okay. So here's the thing. So let's suppose that you have, again, I'm just gonna go ahead and create a landscape. So let's suppose that you have these landscape created already, and you go to Foliage. You can actually go to Meshes. No, not here. Props. In this case, and you take your rock and drop it in there. So I can paint rocks, and this is not that good. Like, it's clearly not that good, right? But what you can do is model a small rock, a couple of small rocks, small pebbles, place them in the foliage tool, and then come in here. And let's say that I want the scale to be 0.1 and 0.2, for example. And I want the rotation to be random yaw. Let's say random pitch angle. Let's say 129, for example. So yeah, let's start painting. See what happens. Okay. I can increase the value, maybe 300, and a radius of 5. So this is the idea. So if you were to create like a smaller sized rocks, maybe 0.05 and 0.1 at the most, what you would get would be something very, very small, some kind of pebbles. 0.01, 0.003. I'm just going to increase the density. Radius 0. There's no need to. So you can actually see that you have some detail. You can go crazy and, you know, start adding some more value here. And yeah, of course, like, yeah, why not, right? Okay, so you can actually create some very, very high detailed environments with these. Actually, you can then make different passes. So let's say that now I start dropping these. Now I'm going to increase these to 0.1 and 0.2. 0.5, 0.8. Less density. Ah, shit. Ah, shit. This is starting to break. Ah, Jesus. Beautiful. What? What did just happen? Yeah, okay. Let me check how many FPS we got right now. Okay, 40. Can we force this all the way up? Not here. 0.01, 0.03. Yeah. There you have it, boy. Nice. We got that lag that we love. Let's see if we can break it. How much will it hold? There we go. Some stress test. It is actually deactivating the detail mesh because it knows that it's gonna crash if it tries to load everything at the same time. You see, it deactivates it, but when you look at a small area, then it activates the detail mesh. Otherwise, it's deactivated by default. 27, 26. Well, pretty good actually. Not that bad. So yeah, you can actually do this kind of sort of crazy stuff as well, right? Yeah, so what else can I show you about this tool? There's not much more to it, like just know that you can create all those sort of meshes. You can actually place like kind of debris all over. So you had some debris, debris when when a building gets destroyed, for example. Yeah, the rubble, right? So it can actually be useful for that. Be careful though, because it will have overlapping geometry and you might not want that, but yeah, like not that bad. Okay, and not only that, let's suppose that because you're having in mind that this is only for the terrain, but no, this is also for the geometry. So if I come in here, decrease the size, I can actually paint detail mesh all over my meshes. Not just for the terrain. It detects meshes. So off you go. You can even create all sort of interesting effects. So for example, let's suppose that I start painting these over, and then I can take these meshes, deactivate them, and then I would have some detail mesh floating there. So you can actually place some primitives if you want, paint detail mesh over them, and then if you want, just hide them to create all sort of interesting and cool compositions. Just so you know. Okay, just so you know. Right? Is it good? Nice. Then, is this opening at all? Phew, this doesn't seem to be loading. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, pretty much this would be it. I'm just gonna go ahead, take both, and just delete everything before this crashes. Yeah, there you go. Okay, did it crash? Did it crash? Did we break the... Oh, it's compiling. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, no. No. We do not want that. I actually pressed... No. Yeah, I actually pressed shift. Oh, it compiled the RTX. Wait, hang on. I'm just gonna go back to the other one until it finishes compiling there. But yeah, like it's getting hard for the graphics card to load both levels. Let's go back to the new one. Okay, so it's gonna be compiling the shaders a little bit. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. Nice planes. You can actually see the planes now that they're not loaded with the textures, right? So quite fun, quite funny. So this is gonna be loading for a little bit, probably maybe an hour or so. I'm just gonna leave it compiling the shaders, and then we'll come in and see if we can get any RTX working here. This is pretty much it. I'm gonna leave you working on the environment. I'm gonna give you some time to work in the environment, and yeah, that's it. I'm gonna start creating. I'm gonna try to create a holographic shader, so you can like have an idea of what you could do with some effects on materials. Right? Is it good? Yeah, I will. I will be recording. Yeah. But I will be improvising. Just have that in mind that I haven't that prepared, so I will be improvising. Yeah, well, are you sure? Because I do not, I do not believe in me right now for this. But yeah, I'll try my best. I'll try my best. I promise. Um. So, being that said, hang on. I'm just gonna